והצלחה רבה, בעזרת השם בשנה הבאה בירושלים. I forgot something very important. I still protected to the end of my word. תודה רבה גדולה, גדולה, גדולה. לרב ראובן, לרב ג'סי, לרב קוטלר, לרב אורי, לרב ארן, לכל מי שפעל, כל מי שעשה בשבילכם. תודה רבה לרב גיפשיץ, תודה רבה לרמי, תודה רבה לרובי ג'רדי, תודה רבה לרליהו, תודה רבה לכל the staff of the Yeshiva that works for you all the time. So everyone, I love you very much. You know, I'm usually an Reliao, and I'm starting. So big hibuk to Aftarni.
We're going to give everyone their envelope, which has a picture card inside, and then everyone can take a picture with the Rosh Yeshiva right over here. Max Berger. Rudy Besner. Max Berger. Rudy Besner. Gordon Blau. Casey Cassiette, it's in alphabetical order. Joseph Black. Staff member or a friend and ask for an inscription. There are Sharpies in the box here you can use. Extra ones in the box, feel free to take. Zach Finch. If you can't find one over people, let me know and I'll find one for you. Tulio Goldstein. Wow! Kobe Malkin. Isaac Safran. Moshe Schachter. Zach Schreiber. Yanni Shulman. Aaron Singer. Zach Rothenberg. Jonah Tripp. Noam Wainhouse. Frank Reeder. Jacob Reeder. Jacob Reeder. Elijah Wolf. Elon Reschner. If you didn't get a card, there should be. Everyone who's making a Siyum, please gather behind me over here. Jonah Laskov? Where's Jonah Laskov? what we're about to do. Everyone please listen carefully to what we're about to do. Anyone who didn't yet had a chance to take a picture, don't put mine too much behind the schedule. Is anyone not making a Siyum? If anyone who's part of the Siyum, this like this, everyone please line up, like this, like this, like this, like this. Hold your Siyum safer in your hand. If everyone can be quiet and help us move things forward. Special thing in finishing the Masechta you're learning. And the yeshiva always honors those who did that. We asked for people to let us know. Find you?
Upset and start crying, and Rabbi Akiva starts laughing. So Rabbi Akiva asks the Chachamim asks Rabbi Akiva, why are you laughing? So Rabbi Akiva responds like a typical Jew, why are you crying? And they respond because if a Zar goes into the Mikdash, then he's chayav. So Chachamim are like a fox. It's such a bad thing that a fox is coming out of the Mikdash. And then they ask Rabbi Akiva, so why are you laughing? He says, because now that the story of Uriah Kohen has come true, the prophecy of Zechariah will come true, and there'll be a gula. So do the Chachamim not know about these prophecies? Did they not know, like, about the prophecy of Zechariah, that once the Korban and all that, then it'll eventually be rebuilt? So I'd like to suggest that the Chachamim were focused on the present. They're focused on the current state. They weren't focused on the past or the future. Right? Akiva was picturing all three. He was picturing the past, looking back at the past with the prophecies, looking at now how it's destroyed and how a fox is coming out, and then looking to the future how it'll eventually be rebuilt. And this is a very important message as we leave yeshiva, that you should look back at the past, all you have accomplished, look at where you are now, and look at how much more you can accomplish in the future.
Shkoch Ari for that beautiful, beautiful message. Ari, stay right here. Ephraim Wiener.
On behalf of Shana Bet, as a group, we wanted to give a sense of gratitude to Beanstalk for all the hard work he puts in. We awarded him the title of Shana Bet Madrich. I think it's really fitting for all the hard work he really puts in. As much as this is shtick, this is very serious because he does a lot for us as well.
And as Aryeh said, may our appreciation of our past continue to inspire us about our future. Emir Hashem, Hadron Kobe Melkin.
עד שלא נתקיים נבואתו של אוריה, הייתי מתיירא שלא נתקיים נבואתו של זכריה. עכשיו שנתקיים נבואתו של אוריה, בידוע שנבואתו של זכריה מתקיימת. לשון הזה, אמר לו, עקיבא נחמתנו, עקיבא נחמתנו. Hadjan alach elu hen alukin, v'slika la mesechus makos mesechus gittin. Hadjan alach mesechus makos v'gittin v'hadjach alan. Datan alach mesechus makos v'gittin v'datach alan. Lutin n'shem yinach mesechus makos v'gittin, lutin n'shem yinach. Lo ba'amadin v'lo ba'amadata. Hadjan alach mesechus makos v'gittin v'hadjach alan. Datan alach mesechus makos v'gittin v'datach alan. Lutin n'shem yinach mesechus makos v'gittin v'lutin n'shem yinach. Lo ba'amadin v'lo ba'amadata. Hajan alach mesechus makos v'gittin v'hadjach alan. Datan alach mesechus makos v'gittin v'datach alan. Lo n'shem yinach mesechus makos v'gittin. Lo tin n'shem yinach. Lo ba'amadein v'lo ba'amadate. Yiratzonu v'techa Adonai Eloheinu v'le'er v'teinu. Shedei tortecha emunatinu v'olam hazeh. V'teim imanu l'olam haba. Chanina bar papa, Rami bar papa, Nachman bar papa, Achai bar papa, Abba Mari bar papa, Rafram bar papa, Rachish bar papa, Zurcha bar papa, Ada bar papa, Daru bar papa. Hariv na Adonai Eloheinu es divrei Toratecha b'finu v'fifiot amcha Beit Yisrael v'nei kulanu anachnu v'tzetzeinu v'tzetzei amcha Beit Yisrael kulanu yodei shemecha v'lomdei Toratecha v'revaytecha k'mini mitzvotecha kilu olam hili bitamim v'chukecha v'man lo evosh v'olam lo eshkach kudecha kibam kitani Baruch atah Adonai lamdini chukecha Amen 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 Sela v'ed Rodim anachnu lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu Ve'Elohei Avotinu, shesamta chalkeinu miyoshvei beit hamidrash.
Samta chalkeinu miyoshvei beit hamidrash.
Lo samta chalkeinu miyoshvei karnos. Shanu mashkimim vehem mashkimim. Anu mashkimim l'drei Torah vehem mashkimim l'drei Matelim. Anu amelim vehem amelim. Anu amelim mekam skar vehem amelim ve'inu mekam sachar. Anu ratzim vehem ratzim. Anu ratzim. L'chayu olam haba vehem ratzim l'ver shachar. Shneimar v'ata Elohim toridem l'ver shachar. Am shedomim mirma v'yefzu yimeim v'aniftach bach. Yiratzonu v'necha Adonai Elohai kishim shezotanu v'san v'sechtos Makos v'gittin kin tazrini latchils v'sechtos v'svarim achirim v'saimam v'lomod v'lamed v'shmor l'asur v'kaim et kol divrei tamot toratecha ba'ava וזכות כל התנאים האמוראים ותלמידי חכמים יעמוד לי לזרי, שלוש חמוש התורה מפי זרי וזרע זרי עד עולם. תקיים בי בהתהלך, תנחה אותך, ושכבך תשמור עליך, והקיצותה היא תשיחך. כי בי ירבו ימיך, ויוסיפו לך שנות חיים, אורך ימים בימינה, ושמאלה אושר וכבוד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
One second, before the Kaddish. What is the lady out there?
תודה ויגש מרבו, עמדי ועתיד להתחדת ולחיה, מתי ולעסקה, יתהום לחי עולם, עלמא, ומבנה קרתא ירושלים ושך בו, היכלי בגאווה, ומעקר פלחנה נוכרעה מנערה, לתבוא פלחנה דשמיא לאתרי, ומליך קודשא בריחו, מלכותו ויקרא, יצמח ברקני וקרא משיחי. וחייכון וימלכון וחי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. ישמר רבה מברך לעולם ומאמריה, יתברך וישתבח ויתברך ויתרומם וינעשה, ויתהדר ויתעלה שמי לקודשו בריחו. גדולה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעמל ואמרו אמן. על ישראל ועל רבנן ועל כל תלמידיהם ועל כל תלמידיהם, על כל מאן דעסקין דאורייתא, די בעתרא, הדין בכל אתר ואתר. יהיה להון ולכון שלמה רבה, חינא וכיסתא רחמים, וחיים אריכם, ומזון יברכם. פרקנה מן קדם ארון דשמיא ברא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רב מן שמיים וחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עשה שלום רב, ברוך מה ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Yeah. there when he showed up. I gained a great appreciation of what I had. Besides for all the unbelievable learning we did, the biggest thing I got out of Shlomo was someone that I can look up to. Every shmooze we had, whether it was the classic Jordan LeBron debate, making Aliyah, or going to the army, or just hashkafic discussions, I walked away with the perspective of someone who is well thought out, knows what he wants, and is firm in his beliefs. I joked earlier about how Shlomo didn't show up every time to night sitter. And people often ask me if it was hard and having night sitter at Kabrusa didn't know he's coming. Every time they asked me, I gave them the same answer. It was a little annoying, but it was 100% worth it. Thank you so much for everything, and I'm so grateful for the success that I had this year.
Whoever's speaking next, please come up. You know who you are. Got it? One more. One thing before Yaakov starts. Anyone who wants to eat very little food, please sit at these 3 tables. Anyone who wants to eat more food, there's 1 plate being brought out to each table. Note, 1, 2, 3. So if you really want deep chaverim and very little food, stay here. If you don't mind sitting with me, come over here.
When asked about David Berger, people responded, he's a machine, he assigns rooms, his balance in the gray area between tense and intense is perfectly struck. He gives out and collects keys, he wakes me up for chakras, sometimes. When he messed up a Mishnah, he sat on the floor of the base until someone found him on the floor. He's always smiling and it's amazing. He's the perfect translator for Avtiv Yashir. Overall, these quotes show how you're kind, you're smart, you're selfless, you're dedicated, but most of all, you care. Personally, while I definitely owe you a big thank you for helping me grow in my love for learning and Gemara skills, I owe you the biggest thank you for just caring, and I think this story will shed light on this. After we finished the first parak for the second time, because you insisted we go over it again, I bought a tub of Ben & Jerry's like normal Charutas do. And you bought carrots like you usually do. And we sat in the back of the Hebrew library and we talked out my issues. And instead of just nodding and making it look like you care, because well, every night I ranted to you, and I'd understand if you just wanted to do that, you actually listened and you gave me a lot of advice because you care. This story and all of these quotes show that you care, and I'd like to thank you on behalf of the entire yeshiva for just caring.
David, switch sides. Next speaker, please come up.
So lots of you may not know him. Zabulera is a very formidable member of the staff. Him, along with Rabbinia of Dovi, make a really good English staff this year, and we really appreciated that. But there's lots about Zevi you don't know. Firstly, his name is Zevi. His name's actually Xavier, so you can speak to him after about that. It's a story in itself. But more importantly, Zevi's midot are quite incredible. Tell you a quick story about Zevi. One night, I had Shmirah from 1 to 4, not ideal, and it was 2 a.m. and I was sitting there, and Zevi walks into the Shmirah box, and he says, "Want to cover Rissa?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, why not?" Zevi tends to travel back to Bet Shemesh every night, and that night, for some reason, he couldn't make it back. So he stayed in Yeshiva and he decided to learn with people. I think he learned with Yishai before me, and then he learned with me. The care that Zevi has for each and every one of us, particularly the British guys, but I presume everyone else, it really is special. And me, on behalf of myself, having learned most of Zevi this year, and on behalf of the rest of the English Hebra, I'd just like to say thank you for everything you've done for us, and yeah.
Where's Jordan? Jordan here? Okay, so as I was thinking about what I was going to say about Jordan. I was sitting in the basement on Malcolm one day, and I said to myself, stop thinking, stop driving yourself crazy. Just look across the base and just watch him for 5 minutes. So as weird as it's going to sound, I literally just watched him for 5 minutes. And I've had this close of knowing Jordan over the course of the year and obviously being able to connect him, but even if you didn't know Jordan, you'd be able to tell exactly what type of person he is over these 5 minutes. As I see him just sitting by his Malcolm, as he does a lot, hunched over by a sefer, just pouring out on that sefer, which Mustama was something on Hilchos Shabbos. We'll do this for Shabbos Hilchos, I promise you, we'll get there. I saw a Talmud come over to him and tap him on the shoulder. Jordan sprung up out of his chair as if he was, Jordan from the army days, and grabs his kid, gives him a huge hug, and sits him down next to his Malcolm. I sat back in my chair and just laughed to myself. I said, that's all I need. This is Jordan. Jordan has been a tremendous madrid, a role model, and an all-around clever to everybody in this yeshiva. His dedication to learning halacha, as well as his compassion towards his talmidim, is truly inspiring. But when he talks to each guy, you get the sense that he doesn't just want you to do better, he just wants you to be better. Jordan, you're the spark that lights the fire that is Yeshivat Hakotel. And I can for sure say that this yeshiva and its product would not be the same without you. But let's be honest, folks, what would we do without Jordan's pants?
So at the beginning of the year, Ezra Smith told me, this year I just really want to focus on morning singing. So I think I'm just gonna go to bed as soon as I can. I'm not gonna do much personalizing learning. I just wanna focus on morning singing. I want to have as much energy as I can. So a few weeks ago, I was struggling to adapt to our phone share. So I said, Ezra, please, you've been in there for a while. Can you give me some help? So he said, sure. Speak to me after night Seder. And not joking, he stayed up an hour and a half past he would have wanted to, giving me help and advice until past 12 o'clock. So in that story perfectly sums up who Ezra is. He's someone who's willing to go way beyond the call of duty to help whoever he can, whenever he can. You can ask him about all the times in the army where he volunteered to stay behind for a Shabbos to give a tish or a shir to non-religious soldiers. And he's just really a fantastic role model who's taught me so much about caring for other people. So thank you very much.
For sharing everything with me, including his germs, which is why I'm sounding like this. So I was going to sing eloquent praises of AZ, but I can't now. But I'll just keep it short. From but relatable. This is the goal we all strive for, right? From means you have to be impassioned about your ideology, connected to God and to religion, purposeful, eye on the prize where you're striving for. This was epitomized by the Muslim that AZ gave to us. And over an hour of passionate speaking. And relatable means he's down, chill, chat with us with friends, whether it's talking about Star Wars or Christianity, because they both happened. So AZ, I think, is a Rosh Madrechim, has the best qualities we want. And we look for someone to fulfill that role from in all aspects and relatable as well. So thank you, AZ, for being around this year. It's just
Ben's voice sounds like after learning with me for an hour. The Tiferes Yisrael quotes a mashal on Mishnah and Kiddushin that Tov Shebarofos L'Gaen, that there was a king who wanted to defeat Moshe Rabbeinu. So he sent out his magic man to paint a picture of Moshe, and then they would analyze the picture and see where his weaknesses were. So they sent the guy out. He saw Moshe Rabbeinu, he painted the picture. He brought it back to the king. He looked at the picture. He said, "This can't be the real Moshe Rabbeinu. This guy's he's ugly, he's mean, he's vulgar, he's a bad. This can't be the leader of the Jewish people." So the Tiferes Yisrael talks about how people have God-given characteristics, and people use their characteristics for the right things. They could be all the much greater. Ben is someone that is a really hard worker, and he's someone that really shows me what it meant to use your characteristics for the better. He uses his focus to Torah, his intensity and his anger for my focus in the Beis Medrash, and his intellect to develop a complex hashkafa and to be a Baal Yitzhak. I just wanted to thank you, Ben, for everything you've done for me, and Mazel Tov. I don't even know where you are. Mazel Tov. And I urge everyone coming back next year to take full advantage of that. Thank you.
shoulders. Let's go, not the DJ. Get him up. Get him up. Every Shana Alafka. You're older Kamarusa, let's go. You're Madrid, you're Musa Seder, you're Halacha Seder. Chalinsky, pick someone up. Ryan Musiki, Hank. I see Efroni Schlesinger sitting on the side, waiting to be picked up. Shlomo Ashkenazi waiting to be picked up. Grab him. Shlomo, you can't say no to them. Young and Clyde, let's go. Dan Katz. Rudy Freeman, Vinny Davis. One big circle, all the cabooses, one big circle. Zach Rothenberg ready to be picked up. Elijah Wolf. Zach Rothenberg right in front of you. Shammai Ziskin is in the room. Say Shammai, let's go! Where's Rakovi, the Schledgers? Where are these Chaburas dancing? circle, everybody. Everybody, please make one big circle. Internalize these words. Every time we bench, every time we bench, we should remember this moment of how strongly we connect to Yisbarach Shem Chavafi Kol Chai, and realize that wherever we are, this is the mission, this is what we'll be, this is who we are. Yisbarach Shem Chavafi Kol Chai Tamid, always.
סיפור אחד שאני חושב שמתאר את האישיות של הרב פשיטו. אני לא יודע אם כולם יודעים, אבל בהתחלה השנה האחיין של הרב נפטר אחרי החתונה שלו on their honeymoon in a motorcycle accident. ביום הזה היה לי חברותא עם הרב, אז אני הלכתי לרב ואמר, אני מצטער לשמוע מה קרה, אנחנו לא חייבים לעבוד עכשיו, אני מאוד מצטער וכו' וכו'. והרב הסתכל עליי כמו שאני איש משוגע, ואמר לי, אדרבה, עכשיו אנחנו יכולים ללמוד, צריכים ללמוד יותר חזק. זה הרב ליפשיץ. החיים שלו כולו תורה, בימי צרה ובימי שמחה. מתי היה בבית מדרש ביום ירושלים, כאשר כולם היה רקודים, אתה היה יכול לראות את הרב ב2 בבוקר והוא היה לומד תורה. זה הרב, ואנחנו כולם, אם יודע את הרב או לא, יכולים ללמוד הרבה מהרב. ואני מקווה שמי שיהיה פה בשנה שעברה ידבר על הרב, לשמוע מה הוא צריכים לומר, רק לראות את הרב, את ההנהגות שלו, ואת התפילות שלו, ואת הסעודה שלישית, את השיחות שלו, וכו' וכו'. תודה רבה, הרב.
Unbelievably humble in the amount of Torah that he knows. It's not, for whatever reason, it's not a big deal in our base midrash that he's holding in Yerushalmi, Bavli, Nahum, Mefarshim, every Chiluk and Shulchan Aruch, you name it. Jewish history. But the version I've got to know over the past 2 years is someone who has looked at Torah in a completely different way, at this whole other level. Where if you take the Bavas, for example, he doesn't look at it as some compilation of laws regarding property or documents or damages. Rather, it's the halachot that teach us properly. He looks at the Torah not just as halacha, something dry, X, Y, rather as the next step, what it means, what's the svara of Chazal for enacting all those laws in the Bavas. And that's something I really learned a lot from him. And I can tell one story that I really think encompasses a personal lot. I may tell it wrong, so pardon me, Reversler. On Tanis Esther, Rebbe got a call asking from a woman in Australia if she could swim on the Tanis. So he said, if you don't drink any water, you don't swallow any of it, maybe you can, yeah, there's no Isser with it, but I can give some Eitzah. He said, why do you think Chazal enacted that day? Was it just to have a day that restricts us from eating and drinking? Or is there more gravity to that day than just intake of food and water? And he ended it with that, and that's really who a Persher is. There's too much intellectual honesty and care for halacha to say usher when it's not. But cares too much about every yid that he can't just offer eitzah to anyone that he can. And Rebbe, I think we've all learned this from you, those of us who are close to us. And I really urge everyone who's coming back next year to take full advantage of the godless that a Persher has to offer. So I want to say thank you, Rebbe. I appreciate it.
Rav Hirschler is a tremendous resource in our base medrash. He's very eager to answer questions, to help people grow, to learn the chavrusa. Those coming back next year, before you leave, I suggest reaching out to Rav Hirschler and making sure that you can take advantage of his presence next year as a major part of your year. Shekot to Rav Hirschler, and let's all do the best we can to continue growing. Shekot. Earlier on this year, Rav Tower and I found out we were flying on the same flight. It's a great
and Tyler graciously offered to take me to the airport. That's fantastic. We drove to the airport, and at the gate, after the check-in, we kind of, I guess, he got sick of me pestering him, so we split up. And we converged back together on the plane to see him walk by me, and there I find him, and we have the seats right next to each other on the plane. Like, oh boy, here you go. Take out my camera, put on the tray. So, the TV turns off really quickly, the brightest thing was mentioned. And I move on. And that moment was special for me, and I'll tell you why. There's a classic distinction between Zechira and Sipur. When we have a mitzvah to be zocher, or to tell something over. The distinction is that Zechira is remembering something, commemorating something. Sipur is actually living it. And the way Rav Teller speaks, every time he walks into the room, he's no longer Rav Teller. Every time I sit in that room on 610 on Mondays, Rav Chaim Ozer walks in the room, the Brisker Rav walks in the room, Dessler walks in the room. And that's something special. When you have a lack of appreciation, at least me growing up from these Gedolim, to have them walk into the room as if they're really there in the flesh. That's when I sit on that plane and I look over at the seat next to me, and now I can say for the rest of my life that I sat next to Rav Chaim Ozer. I sat next to Rav Dessler. And I sat next to the Brisker Rav. And that's something I'll treasure forever. Without further ado, thank you so much, Rabbi, for all your great care for all of us.
High school you came from, and suddenly you're dropped in yeshiva. And you're exposed to this wide array of fascinating shiurim. And sometimes it's awesome, but sometimes in the beginning it's frankly overwhelming. And it's hard. And sometimes you hear the shiur and it's great, but other times you're just not connected. And I noticed at some point during the year an interesting phenomenon that occurs in the yeshiva. That every time the Rabbi Davis gets up to give the Dvar Torah, it's phenomenal. It's dynamite. And this trend continued throughout the year. It wasn't just excellence. It was consistent excellence. It was perfect excellence. To the point that every single time the Rabbi gave the Dvar Torah, which is always the same formulation, it's a chop you never would have thought of, followed by a message that really hits home every time. And so every time he gave the Dvar Torah, I would walk away saying, wow, I really needed to hear that. And what's fascinating and incredible is that is not what Rabbi is known best for in the yeshiva. It's his hospitality, the opening up his home for Yemini Masmidim and Vadim and Shabbos. And the different Torah aren't even what he's second best known for in the yeshiva. It's his tremendous insight in shiur and his willingness to help in Seder. On multiple occasions, I've spent over half of morning Seder sitting with Rabbi, just going over the same Rishon over and over and over again. And that's what makes Rabbi so special. It's not just the excellence, it's the consistent excellence. And it's not just the consistent excellence, but it's the consistent excellence in every field, across the board. That's something we're striving to, and that's something that we all look at and admire. Rabbi, thank you so much.
Personally, I think I have the best nights ever covered in the yeshiva. Not only because I think so, but because a number of people have come over to me saying, dump David so I can learn with him. What makes David such a hot commodity in a night Seder game? Could it be his loud and outgoing personality? Could it be his constant attendance and alertness at Seder? Or could it be his demeaning personality that shakes the Yerushalayim into you? Or could it be none of all of these? Anyone who has ever spoken to David knows that he's no Zevlon. It's very difficult to get upset at someone that's not yelling at you. When he mussers me, he's literally talking like he would talk to anyone else. He's talking quietly, he's talking softly, and then after a chavrusa, he feels bad that he mustered me, so he apologizes. That's number one. Number two, anyone who walks by David's Makom during night Seder sees one of three scenes. Either David and I quietly learning, or David and I sleeping, or me sitting there waiting for David. Now some people would see this as a negative. I see it as a positive. One, the extra time gives me time to work on stuff like Chaburot and Divrei Torah. Number two, his absence is he's only absent because he's doing one of two things. Being a good son and home with his parents, or he's being a leader and a role model in NCSY. I aspire to be like David in all these categories, be a better son, to be with my family as much as I can, and to be a leader in something that I care about, like NCSY. And finally, David is a very nice guy. So nice that the biggest threat that he makes while mustering me is making me learn more. The way that he installs Yiras Shamayim into his chavrusas is by having Yiras Shamayim, and we just want to be like him. So these are the reasons that David is the best night Seder chavrusa. David, from everyone that has learned with you and has grown from you, we want to thank you for everything that you've done in helping us grow and become the better men.
And now for a short special presentation. Boys in Yeshivat Hakotel are not just students, they're family. Thank you. And it's true. And every one of our Talmidim is family. And of course there are boys here who've been here for 1 year, who are going to be leaving and coming back very often. There are boys who've been here for 2 years and are going to be leaving and coming back very often. There are some boys who are here for 3 and 4 years and are going to leave and come back very often. And at the banquet, we like to give a parting present of Mitoch Kach Zachreu to each one of these boys. One of them boys I'd like to give a sefer to is Jason Selesny. Jason, please come on up. We should talk to everything, for all your growth over the last 4 years. Shana Aleph, Shana Bet, the army. This year helping out as the Shana Dalet guy. May it be B'Hatzlacha, we're not saying goodbye. Yes, we are now officially a seminary. To be built.
The first Emek Davar in the parsha that most of us will be learning this week comments about the relationship between the end of Naso and the beginning of Aloscha. He brings the Ra'avah, who explains that the juxtaposition of the mention about Hashem talking to Moshe and the lighting of the menorah teaches that Hashem spoke to Moshe at night. The Ramban dismisses that Ra'avah on the basis of the Mechilta, which says that Hashem only spoke to Moshe during the day. So the Emek Davar explains that based on the pasuk Kiner Mitzvah Torah Or, the menorah represents Torah Sheval Peh. The Emek Davar then brings a medrash which says that after Hashem spoke to Moshe, Moshe would go back to the old morning at night and do chazara on what Hashem told him, qualifying as Torah Sheval Peh. Elazar, aside from the fact that most of Shana Bet knows you as a special Baal Peh, you do put in the hours at night. You spend countless hours late at night preparing your fantastic Chazar Shir, as well as your notes, just so we could chop Shir. You stayed up late preparing Makaros, preparing Shir, and answering our WhatsApp questions. The effort that you put into preparing for Shir and being ready to answer our questions is clearly evidenced by your constant presence in the base, as well as your decision to push off college for 1 more year. Thank you for being an absolutely tremendous Sholomation.
של רב טוביה, אני רואה רב טוביה, אתה הולך, אני רק רציתי להודות באופן אישי לרב טוביה. אני ורב טוביה עובדים שנים ביחד, מאחורי הקלעים. יש הרבה דברים, there's a lot of things people don't realize that it takes to make things work in yeshiva. And רב טוביה and I will write a book one day, but בינתיים אני מאוד מודה לו על כל המסירות נפש שלו, לכל הישיבה ולתלמידים. תודה רבה רב טוביה. And Lazar Cullum. Let's all stand up and give a round of applause to Rav Tuvia. On the topic of Hakaras HaTov, as you know, Lazar Cullum is my Mesibat this year, and I would like to give a personal Hakaras HaTov to him for all of his efforts on behalf of the Talmidim. I'd like to come up, I have a present for him. I think he knows what it is. My bet is that Lazar knows what it is, right? No idea. Remember when I asked you, somebody asked you what present you wanted? That somebody was my wife. Basketball.
Enjoy.
Shekoch to Elazar, Shekoch to Rav Ben Baruch, who's going to be my Mesibat next year, and to all the staff who are returning, etc. We'd like to call now upon Jonah Tripp.
When I was called up from the bullpen actually to speak for Leor, I thought two things. One was, like, how can I possibly speak about someone who won the MVP of the Rebbeim Talmidim basketball game? And two, how can I speak about someone who's dedicated so much of himself to the yeshiva, to Eretz Yisrael, to Am Yisrael, and to everyone sitting here before me? I understand that a lot of people have this sort of fear of Rav Leor. Right? They're a little scared of him. Like, he might bite me. That's not true. He doesn't bite, he kicks, and he scratches. But it took a while for me to get past the pace also. They're really intimidating. But once you do, and you should, because Rav Leor is an amazing person. He is just an absolute Talmid Chacham who understands Gemara, understands Hashem, and understands each one of us more than we know ourselves. And if all of you have the opportunity who didn't speak to him should speak to him now. Also, I wanted to add that Rav Leor, personally for me, added so much to just my overall life, especially within Gemara. He taught me how to love Gemara, how to love every single word within the text, and appreciate every single word for what it is. It's one unit, it's one message from HaKadosh Baruch Hu to us. And Rav Leor helped me so much in that, and all he's done for me and all he's done for us as a yeshiva, I don't know how we can ever repay him. Rav Leor, we love you. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Special thank you to Leor, who's really given a tremendous amount to our Talmidim, and as an appreciation for his years of staffhood, I'd like on behalf of the yeshiva to give this to him as well. Thank you, Leor.
It's hard to be allotted just 2 minutes for Sammy Raskis. Being row mucka mates with him has been an incredible spice and boost to my 2 years here. And I'll just touch on some of the things that I learned from Sammy that I'm sure a lot of you have learned from him as well. We know that it's often said if you shy away from kavod, so kavod runs after you. I can't think of a better example of that in our overseas program than Sammy Raskis. Sammy is always where he needs to be, on time and ready to go. He sits by his makom, does his thing with his hoodie and his various snacks, and simply just pounds Torah. He does it in such a sneeze way, not drawing attention to himself, so people don't think he's so great. But we all recognize Sammy's greatness. Sammy is also a great friend you can rely on. You see it the way he keeps in contact with all his friends in America by even having some chavrusis with them over the phone. And I know from personal experience that when I had difficult things to deal with over bin Izmanim, 6 or 7 hours away, Sammy was always on WhatsApp, ready for me, and giving me great personal advice. For me though, what I inspired for myself most in Sammy is his emistic nature. Whether it be a pshat question Gemara, eights on life, discussing issues in yeshiva, good hack, Hilchos Shabbos Shiloh, whatever it is, you know you're not getting fluff from him. He'll tell you only what he thinks is the MS, and if it's short of that, he'll just say he doesn't know. There's also that inappropriate joke, either at the wrong time or you should never have said, then you get that stammer look. You know what that is. Kind of like, I'm not going to give you musser, but I'll give you that you know you did wrong look, which is even more effective. He doesn't shy away from telling you what is wrong in his Sammy way, which is even more effective than others because it's both straight and gentle, so it gets her. Sammy has been the older guy in yeshiva we all aspire to be like, who's friendly, good-natured, tznius, emistic person, and we thank him for everything and wish him the best next year and for many years to come.
Two quick announcements before we go to Josh Appel, who should come up. Number one, if you haven't had a chance to write in the journal and want to, it's in the plate between AZ and myself. There's a pen and pencil there. Any staff or older guys who did not get a picture card, this is the last call to get one. Please come over to me and I'll give you one. And now, without further ado.
So the Mishnah in Avos says, Mi shalom amanas lilmod v'lamed, masmikin lo lilmod u'lelamed. I think without any fancy pshat or interpretation, this is exactly who a Froni is. A Froni is someone who every time he opens a sefer is only in order so that he can give over the Torah. Whether it's his chaburas, which he gives so amazingly and inspires us every week on Thursday nights, or whether it's to Rav Mazer's shir, or whether it's shirim and Givat Shmuel, or whether it's studying for Rabbanut, which is only to affect Am Yisrael and help them grow. A Froni is really someone who just wants to teach other people, as I'm sure you know if you've ever sat next to him in the base medrash, and he's had something cool to say. But not only is it a Froni he just wants to share Torah, it's only the emes in Torah. One time I remember, a Froni gave about an hour and a half chabura, which was short, on Parshas Yisro. And he was saying a very interesting and clever pshat, but I remember thinking, I don't know, it's a little out there. So I was going to go up to a Froni and ask him about it. Before I could even go up to him and say, what's pshat, a Froni came up to me and said, I don't think that chabura was MS. Deleted the recording and sent out a voice note retracting everything he said for an hour and a half. With anyone else, not anyone, but a lot of people would have said, oh, I was right and I could have defended myself. But Efroni is just looking for the MS and is able to say, that hour and a half, yeah, that wasn't true, I've got to sit and work more. So thank you very much, Efroni. Your presence was greatly missed this Kaitzman, and we're glad you're back. Thank you so much.
Okay, we'd like to call upon the last speaker in this round, Doobie Fishman.
Okay, so first Thursday night this year, everybody knows Thursday night is Chabura night. Shama wasn't here to give the Chabura. And I was a bit disappointed because all week long, I was hearing from everybody in the Chabura how amazing Shama is. You know, he kills terrorists for a living, he works in the Mossad, he's a tremendous Talmud Chacham, and he makes awesome chocolates. But he wasn't there. Every week after that, when we had the chance to hear the Chabura, I realized just how true this was. And as all these are correct, and he actually never denied the fact that he works in the Mossad. When we ask him what he does for a living, he says he works at a government, security agency, and it's top secret, and he doesn't give any more details. So, he probably works for the Mossad. Besides for that, if anyone ever had the chance to go over to Shammai during Night Seder, they see just how much Torah he knows. You would go to ask him for a question, and you could end up spending 20 minutes there while he explains to you about what's behind it, how he understands the Gemara, Rashi, Tosafot, whatever you ask him, he knows everything. And he just stays there for as long as it takes to explain what you asked. And before the chaburas every week, Shama gives a chabur every week in the parsha, and he'll send over a text message with all the Mar Makomos he wants us to bring from the shelves. These Mar Makomos is basically what he goes through his mind when he does Shnai Mikra every week. You know, you have Medrash Rabbah, Medrash Tanchuma, the Yalkut, you have Shas, you have Mishnayos, you have Zohar, you have Tanya. There's everything there, everything. And he sends you the exact Mar Makom while he's walking from his house to yeshiva. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to stress is how much he cares for every person, how much he cares for everyone in the Chabur. And you can really tell this, you know, if you come to the Chabur, the first 20 minutes, he's bringing teas, bringing snacks, cakes, fruit. And he won't start the Chabur until somebody tells a story about what happened to them this past week. Why? Because he wants to know what happened to everybody. He wants to know how our week was. And if you go ask him a question, not only will he spend the time explaining it to you, but he'll also end up, you know, giving you over some anecdotes, some funny stories. He just wants to make you feel like he's part of our life. And that's really the most important part. That's really the essence of who Shammai is. And I just want to thank you for being such a presence in the Beis Medrash and for helping all of us this past year.
I want to give a personal big Yeshivat Hakotel to Beis Shammai. Without him, everyone would think the halacha is always like Beis Hillel. Yeshivat Hakotel. We're about to have a very special video presentation. I suggest everybody turn around and face behind you. For many years to come, a big Yeshivat Hakotel forever.
Opening up your house across whether it's this morning or be allowed to make the appointment at the Wilson Medical Family Clinic to make soup for us when we're sick, and the list to keep your passport safe in your office. The list can go on and on and on. And that's only things that we see that you do shows. There's so many more things that go unnoticed. For example, I can only name 2 things that I know that go unnoticed. Thereby they go noticed. But for example, the
About 40 years of being in Israel. I came for my year in June of 1979, and I just liked it so much I stayed, so I recommend that to all of you. But for those who can't, just look out the window and take it with you. Every time you're davening, close your eyes and remember this is what you're davening toward. And I hope you'll, first of all, I hope you'll be back for Shana Bet, but if not, just keep on coming back. And like I tell everyone, if I did anything to offend you this year, it's out of exhaustion, not malice. And just thank you for letting me be part of your experience. Nisiat Tova.
Shosh makes sure that the boys at Yeshivat Hakotel have a home and are treated by a parent. And a big eshekol turf for making sure that all of you need to met throughout the year. Now that we know what we're thanking for, let's give her another thing. Thank you. People can stand up. People can stand up. Go. Now we're up to Ellie Litwin.
Okay. Adobe. The amount of effort and care you devote to all of your Talmudim in Yeshiva is truly special. The many roles you fill in Yeshiva is impressive and mind-boggling. From being an afternoon Seder Meshiv to giving Chavuras that was a tour through Shas Mishnayos and 40 topics, to being lead in chief, to head of night Seder, to having Chavuras with many of the Talmudim, to arranging the entire Poland trip, and setting the calendar and schedule for many Yeshiva events, Thursday nights, and Shabbatons. You are truly involved in it all. Additionally, the cornucopia of knowledge that you possess and so readily offer and share with others, whether it be Gemara, Machshava, Hashkafa, Halacha, and beyond, is inspiring and humbling. Anyone who possesses a fraction of what you know is in good shape. On a more personal level, I cannot thank you enough for all the help, advice, and guidance that you have given me. Ever since we first met during my older Shuli summer in Machane Morashah, 5772, our relationship has truly budded. During this past summer, 5778, as a result of my then upcoming attendance of Yeshivat Hakotel, as well as our Masechta Sokos of Rusa, we grew closer. Now, reflecting on an entire year upon which we learned together, completing Rambam Sefer Mitzvot, as well as a significant amount of Pirkei Avos, schmoozed together, experienced Kaisar and Hebron together, went to Poland together, and sang together, I cannot thank you enough for our flourishing of Rebbe-Talmud relationship, which I truly cherish and which has positively impacted and transformed my entire year. Rav Dovi, thank you for the world.
Some call him the yeshiva psychologist, others the photographer in residence, some as Commissioner Adam Silver, and even others know him as the guy who gives shiurim on the Rav. And the truth is, the man we all know as Doc Hawk does a really unbelievable job in all the very disparate roles he does for our yeshiva. But this year, I had the opportunity to get to know a side of Doc Hawk that many may not know. Through our weekly chavrusa on Rambam, I recognized the true Talmid Chacham that he really is. His Yediyas Torah is no joke, and his ability to seamlessly synthesize psychology and science is super remarkable. It has allowed me to significantly better understand the Rambam, and also allowed me to marvel at the genius of the Rambam, knowing so much MS centuries before modern science came around to claim it for themselves. I highly recommend utilizing Doc Hawk not only in the roles which I previously mentioned, which he's excellent at, but as a true Talmid Chacham and Gadol Torah that he is. On behalf of all the Talmidim of the Yeshiva who benefit from the hard work of Doc Hawk, aka the glue of the Yeshiva, Thank you for all that you do and continue to do for us all.
Got a protege.
Rav Dan by day, Dan the man by night. Or any other type that isn't in the base medrash. Whatever you want to call him. Our afternoon Seder Rebbe and Shana Bet coordinator is a multitasking beast. Check him out in the kitchen. Yes, I can testify from experience. The recent Kayitzman Shana Bet Shabbaton in Katamon rhyme caught incidents. We were chopping up onions, prepping up some honey and paprika chicken sauce. Remember this, right? Simultaneously on the other side of the room lay many machach flyers, and Merck, right? Just walking into Rav Dan's flat, you are able to see how Rav Dan really represents a hashkafa he proudly holds dear, Torah v'avodah. A real Yeshivat-based medrash who works all year round to inspire. This Shabbos, Rav Dan testified that approximately he's been into contact with around 8,000 students, etc. I am really proud to be 1/8,000th of that Torah v'avodah journey of yours. Sorry to all the Y eunuchs, but Rav Dan's really hyped me up for secular college. And Rav Dan's time for schmoozing is plentiful, and the contents inevitably are just as good. Recently, Rav Dan was eating lunch at Deli Grill. He was very chilled by himself. I decided to change that status of comfort and schmoozing. He was more than happy. And even when I came in before, I've been in and out twice for whatever reason, Rav Dan was schmoozing with guys. Rav Dan has time for everyone. For all those guys coming back next year for Shana Bet, 2 things. Number 1, make sure to go to Rav Dan's new flat, with Hatzlacha in Arnona. It's going to be brilliant. Make sure you go, not only for the delightful deli roll, but for experiences with a true Gavra Rabbah, and it's my gratitude that I'm able to have such great passion. Thank you so much.
If you're not on the app for whatever reason, you can go to the following website if you have an internet on your phone. Kahoot. We'll give another minute for everyone. I don't know who they are. It's not important, don't worry. Alright. To see who the answer is, according to your opinion, whoever gets the most votes will be crowned champion of that category. Okay? There's no right answer. You guys choose the right answer. You'll see. You vote who you think is correct. You will decide. This is audience participation. IT. Kahoot.it, not Kahoot.com. Kahoot.it if you're going on the website. Okay, so we'll practice in yeshiva. Who would you guess? Okay, no. 2, 1. Can you press start? Are you ready? You'll have 10 seconds to answer. If you don't answer in 10 seconds, you will lose your vote. Best dressed. These people were the best dressed in yeshiva this year. In red, Noam Wainhouse. In blue, Eli Lewin. In yellow, Josh Hurt. And in green, Jonathan Aronoff. And the winner is, by a long shot, Noam Wainhouse. Not even close. Not even close. Next up. Most British Brit.
Don't stand up.
In red, Zach Abrams. Blue, BSR. Yellow, Yoel Layton. And green, Elon Reschner. And the winner is Elon Reschner. Very good. John Kleinberg. You can come pick up. This is the most British American. He's got American citizenship, but he pretends to be British. In red, Benji Gottesman. Blue, Gideon Rubin. Yellow, Gavi Book. Green, Moshe Schachter. Oh, congratulations. Rova discount. These guys know where to get the cheapest food in all the Rova. They spend a lot of time there. In red, Jonah Tripp. Blue, Jonathan Aronoff. Yellow, Josh Weinstein. And green, Ashi Bloom. Who's always in the red? These guys are hocking around. Oh! The award you want to win. Next question. These guys are the craziest Canucks. Basically a walking Tim Hortons. In red, Isaac Safran. Blue, David Somech. Yellow, Yuda Besner. Green, Jordan. These guys are the most classic Canadians you will find. Who is the most classic Canadian? Who is a Canuck? Oh! Hey. Good answers, eh? Next question, please. Question, please. These people are always giving quotes and helping out in all areas the show needs. Red, Jonah Laskov. Blue, Ellie Litwin. Yellow, Doobie Fishman. And green, Yaakov Weider. Who is the greatest elf? Ah, it's not even close. He just gave the speech. Too easy. Turn them on.
It was the first morning Seder. Me and Isaac were this back then. Isaac? Yeah. Okay. So we're handing the Makoro, and we're just sitting there. We're like, my couple was like, what do we do with this thing? And we're just looking around. Oh, like see Yanni like actually pounding away with Ellie Litwin over there. And we're like, okay, maybe we should learn them. So we go, we start doing it, and I'm like, wait a minute. We can't even read past the first line. That was the time morning Seder. Okay. Anyway. Fast forward about 6 months, towards the end of my tenure in Rav College year. At this point, Gemara finally became my friend, my best friend. Rashi and Tosa became better friends. This was Makor from the first day of Shir, and we're no longer afraid. I wrote this to Rav College for getting me there. Just an example of how. Every day after Shir, he would voice message me individually, and by the way, I'm sure I wasn't the only one. And he'd ask me, how was Shir? I would give him I'd tell him, was I good or bad? Whenever it was a good day, and I said, I did Shir, I understood Shir. He gave me a good thumbs up emoji. When it's a bad one, he just roast me. But that was the most important part. He grinded me to make sure that I was working hard. He was trying to challenge me to make sure I was getting better every day. He would constantly teach about the idea of Amelut B'Torah. He would explain constantly the bitter sweetness of Torah. That without the bitterness at the beginning, there'll never be that sweetness of Torah. Now I see how emet that is. Emet. In addition to all this, his passion for Torah is truly contagious, and his fire easily gets us all lit. I've never seen anybody scream louder out of excitement for a Ritva in Gideon than Rav Kaller. But for real, those are the most inspiring moments of Shir, seeing, feeling, and being part of Torah. Moreover, not only was he just a rabbi, he was our Rebbe. And he really is our Rebbe. I highly doubt Rav Kaller has more than 3 hours of sleep at night. And this is only because of his dedication to us, all of us at Yeshiva. He cares about every single family on an individual level, making sure that we're all happy and succeeding as Bnei Torah. I myself have had many opportunities to speak with him, and some even for over an hour. And the whole time, he is paying attention and helping me with his fullest attention. Rav Kaller, to thank you in a short amount of time, it's impossible. But I tried, so thank you.
יש לי זכות גדול היום לדבר על מורי ורבי הרב הלר, וחשבתי לדבר בעברית בגלל זה לשון הקודש, אנחנו בארץ הקודש, ישיבה קדושה שלנו, אבל אני יודע שלא כל תלמידי חול יודע עברית כל כך טוב, אז אני אדבר בלעז, לשון אבותינו. Rebbe, it's a true privilege to represent the shir, and thank you for all you did for us this year. But to put what you did for us this entire year into a few short words, into a few short minutes, it's almost impossible. So this is just mamish like a little bit, like a mamish little bit. Firstly, I would like to thank you for your dedication to our shir, and because of your dedication to our meeting, to your shir, sometimes like it gets overshadowed how much of a Talmid Chacham you are and how much we can learn from you. And that really everybody should take so much advantage of how much you know and how much time you have for each and every one of us. And it's really, really inspiring. Yeah, cool. Rebbe, I would also like to thank you so much for your exposing us to all the dimensions of Torah and every vad and every activity we had. You come in with such simcha, ready to learn. Like Mamash, you're seeing it for the first time, like it's new. And for us, it's so exciting to see you come to share with like a big smile on your face. Even though like during Seder, we didn't go as far as you wanted us to go. We see you smiling, we're like, you know what, let's just go one more day, one more time, and it's just exciting. And because of your excitement, we're excited towards Torah. And I want to thank you for that. You really helped us change our life and give us more meaning to everything we do, and I really appreciate that. On a personal level, I'd like to thank you for all the countless times that we had meetings, and I would just sit there ranting about how all the things going on in my mind, and it's so not clear, whatever, and you help me find like a derech yashar, like a straight path. As well as a Chavrusa Weekly, where we learn how to view things objectively. And instead of trying to rationalize our ideas and build a crooked building, we should build a nice straight foundation, build a building through the lens of Torah. And I really, really appreciate that. But truthfully, there's a lot to be grateful for, and I apologize for like missing out on countless things. But thank you for playing a key role in all of our lives, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Just everyone who can also get up and give the same speech as I'm about to do, I think we all feel the same way about Rav Horn. Ironically, the more that I thought about it, I thought that the nature and the essence of Rav Horn as a Rebbe is subject to a chakira, meaning Rav Horn himself is a chakira. Rav Soloveitchik in one of his essays talks about the two dimensions within Masorah. There's halachic Masorah, and there's this moral and ethical Masorah. The halachic Masorah is the Torah Shabbat and Torah Shabbat Peh that Moshe receives in Mar Sinai. And this ethical Masorah and this moral Masorah is really what Pirkei Avos is, and how we transfer and transmit these midos and how to live a Torah-oriented life. When I was thinking about what Rav Horn has given to all of us this past year, I thought for a while, and it would be undermining anything to not say the word everything. In terms of learning, and on the halachic Masorah side of the Chakira, Rav Horn, he transmitted it to us. He took our hands and walked us into the world of lumdus, into the world of sophisticated learning, and he made us truly love and appreciate Torah, and he strengthened our commitment to wanting to live a Torah life. I personally feel that way, and I've spoken to people before this speech because I wouldn't just want to talk about myself. So I know that a lot of people also feel this way. That all being said, that Rav Horn, his year is amazing, and we all loved it, and we benefited from the VODs, and the Ashkava Shirim. And when Rav Horn says the word inculcate and developing our religious identity, meaning it's true. And if you don't stop and think that Rav Horn really did mold you into the frum person you are, it's just false. And it would be a lack of a karsatov. So for that, thank you. On the second side of the Chakira, aside from the learning aspect, there's this transmission of ethical Masorah as well. That's why the first mission on Pirkei Avos is about Masorah, and then the rest of the Masechta is all about midos. Meaning, we get our midos from Rebbeim, from Gedolim. It's more than just, you be a nice person. No, you be a nice person because that's who we are and that's the people. That is our religious identity, as the Rav always says. I remember, to be honest, after the first year Shabbaton, and I promised this happened, I was rooming with Noah Hyman. And I said to Noah, after Friday night dinner and the Tish, which Dovi led us singing, and I said to Noah, I said, to be honest, like the way I want to raise my family is the way Rav Horn raises his. And this was the first Shabbos. And then after the next day, I said, like my Shabbos table, the way Rav Horn talks to his children, and the way the Eishes Chayil with Tara, and this examples, that's how I wanted to raise, and that's how I wanted my Shabbos day to look like when I'm older. On top of that, the amount of time that Reform commits to us, in terms of schmoozes, there's probably no one in this room who hasn't spent a cumulative hour talking to Reform this year at least. I know for me it's probably well over 3 or 4 the more I thought about it, whether it's just to talk about what's going great, or to talk about what's really not going great. And my year's been turned around from Reform and just sitting down with him. He's 100% committed to us, and that's something else that we need at Carson too. On top of that, one thing that really stood out to me one time this year is there were these little sketchy, kids who showed up in the Shmirah box, and they asked their horn, could we have 300 shek to take a selfie with? And her horn pulled out his wallet, gave him the 300 shek, and took a selfie, let them take a selfie with his phone, and then the way that Reform cares about, and Reform always talks about how it comes from his background and how he loves every single person. It's true, when you see Reform interact with the most random people and show them the most care and love in the world, it's inspiring, and it's something that I'm personally grateful for, to have this Rebbe who both transmits and encompasses these two sides of the Chakira. Both the halachic Masor aspect, how he's taught us how to learn. He's taught us to appreciate learning, but at the same time, taught us how to act. On a personal note, after witnessing your excitement and the way you act, I personally am inspired and feel informed from example how to live a Torah life and I feel like I'm going to be a mentor for life. And I feel like that'll last a lifetime, and I look forward to maintaining our kesher. Rebbe, you've taught us Torah, but more importantly, you've showed us how to live Torah. So on behalf of everyone, thank you so much.
I think the biggest gift I can give to a target is to try as hard as I can to stick to 2 minutes.
I say it again.
I think
okay. There's not much I can say about Rotarian that not everyone's already feeling already. The incredible relationship that Rotarian's had with all of us, either directly through his personal connection with us, or indirectly through the entire program that Prophetic has been running. So as the Ramchal states in Mesibat Siyum, I'm not going to bring a new Chiddush, I'm not going to teach you anything new. But I'm going to reiterate and I'm going to remind everyone about the significant impact that Prophetic has had on all of us. Rebbe quoted the Rashi in Parshas Bamidbar in his motion on Thursday night. About someone who teaches you Torah, it's like they're your father. So all the more so, Rav Tarragon, who not only has taught us Torah, but has taught us what it's like to live a life of Torah, a life of meaning, a life of Torah, of making Torah every part of your day, every part of your mindset. So someone who put us on the track of being a Ben Torah ourselves, and someone who spends day and night caring about us, and working hard, and putting programs together, and putting speeches together, and all this incredible stuff, with staff who are ready and able and willing to do everything the Tarragon asks of them to make this program what it is. So, nothing that we can give you can really show fully our appreciation to you, but Tarragon, I want to present you with this gift for really showing us what we can be, the Torah that you have exemplified and that you can really help us become ourselves. So thank you.
One second. We're gonna dance in a minute. Everyone just have a seat. I want to say a couple of things before we dance. First of all, while we dance, I want to recommend that each person dance with the staff member they spoke about. It's also mutter for other people to speak with that staff member. I also want to give a special yesher koach to Daniel Golan, and to לירון בנימינוב, שהגיעו כדי לנגן עבורנו וכדי לשיר עבורנו, ואני אגיד הפתעה שדניאל ישיר את השיר שהוא הכי מוכר איתו, מי שמכיר את השיר שדניאל שר. Whoever knows the song that Daniel's famous for, you can expect that it'll be part of the repertoire coming up. So in a couple of minutes we're going to dance one last dance, and then we're going to bench, and then we're going to get sweatshirts. Yishkoch to Yitzchak Talinsky and the others who helped him with the sweatshirts. The sweatshirts are going to be given out outside of my office, not in the office, but by the elevator. This way, if anyone doesn't want it, there's enough boxes they can put it in there. That's in the elevator. And then we'll meet at the ledge. And Yetz Hashem will send out a time, exactly what time we'll meet in front of the yeshiva. Everyone please wear your sweatshirt. When we go leave from in front of the yeshiva to dance down together, we'll advertise what time it will be. But I just want to say a few words before we dance and bench. And I recommend people continue drinking, eating, etc., so you can continue your Suda. To a large extent, the moment where we are now is the beginning of the closing moments together. There are already many boys leaving tonight. Of course, most people leaving tomorrow. And for the next few months, people are going to be scattered all over. And the people sitting in the room together now are definitely not going to be together again for a long time, and maybe never going to be together again. All the people who are in the room right now. And as was said by many of you, everyone in the room gained things from everyone in the room. And this is our chance to appreciate and take those things with us before we separate from one another. And I guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt, that tomorrow, every one of you will be feeling some form of separation anxiety, being separated from each other, and realizing that you're going to be separated from each other for a long time, some a very long time. This is a time that everyone should be reflecting on each other, celebrating with each other, affirming the kesher you have with each other. On a personal level, the work that goes into doing our best to help each one of you succeed in yeshiva is a process that begins many, many months before you arrive, and frankly continues years after you leave, in trying to help each one of you succeed in the challenging world that we live in. That work is put in by many, many people, many of whom you know and many of whom you don't. The significance of this is for you to appreciate, A, that there are people who care about you. And that's significant because when you know people care about you, hopefully it helps you take yourself as seriously as you should. Second of all, knowing that is important. Knowing that people care about you is important because you know you have people to turn to not only when you're in yeshiva, but a long time afterwards. And maybe number three, maybe the most important thing is to know, I don't know if every single thing that every single staff member did on your behalf was the right thing. We don't have a handbook, a playbook. We're definitely not Nevi'im, and don't have Ruach HaKodesh. That having been said, you should know, and I say this with absolute confidence, every single thing that everyone and anyone on staff did for you this year was done with the purpose, with the goal of trying to help you maximize your experience. Hopefully most of the things were right, but all of the things were for that purpose. On a personal level, I want to tell you that I'm proud of each one of you and what you accomplished. I think I speak on behalf of the staff as a whole, but I definitely speak on behalf of myself. I'm proud of the efforts you put in. I'm proud of where you are. And most importantly, I'm proud of where you're going. I'm confident about your ability to get there. And I'm hopeful that you'll decide to build off everything you experienced and get as far as you can go. At the end of the year, naturally, people express feelings, say thank you. All that is very meaningful. But the best thank you, frankly, the only thank you that really is worth anything, I don't want to say that, every thank you is worth something, but the only thank you that has long-term significance is appreciating what you've been given in a way that you make sure to capitalize on it, build off it, maximize, and become everything that you can become. In the coming months and the coming years, there are definitely going to be times where the world around you is weaker than you, and where part of you says, I can allow myself less. At those times, remember. Remember what you were able to accomplish. Remember what people invested in helping you get there. And remind yourselves that you're worth too much to settle for less than what you can be. You're worth too much to settle for less than what you can be as B'nai Torah, as Ovdei Hashem. People who've never had the opportunity to appreciate who they can be cannot be blamed for not being who they can be. It's Mibchinas Tinuk Shenishba. Every one of you, for better or for worse, and it's all for better, have been taken out of the world of Tinuk Shenishba. Every one of you knows what you were created to be, what being a proper Jew and a Ben Torah is meant to be. And now all that you need to do is live up to and continue building upon what you know not a person should be, but what you know you should be, what you know you can be, because you've felt it, because you've seen it. That's the excitement of being in yeshiva. That's the promise, and that's the mission. And it's easier said than done, but every one of you needs to know that you have everything you need in order to get it done. Everything. Everything. Some of you may find yourselves in situations where you have more help over the next years. Some of you may find yourselves in situations where you have less help. But all of you have the ability. All of you know what it is, and all of you know how to get there. There'll be times where it's harder to feel it because you're surrounded by people who aren't getting there. Non-Jews, Jews who don't understand what they're meant to be, or even Orthodox people who don't understand what Orthodoxy is, or what being a Ben Torah is. All of you will be surrounded by that. Remember this relationship, this group. Remember the picture that you have, that you'll take with you both in the card and in your heart. And know you can always come back to yeshiva to reconnect with it. You can always come back. And we look forward to you always coming back. Take advantage of the special kesher you have with yeshiva. Because if you don't appreciate it, you'll appreciate it when you've already lost it. Just because you've lost it doesn't mean you can't reinstate it. It's better to appreciate it before you lose it. Many people focus on X, they focus on Y, they think this, they think that. There's no substitute for the place where you grew as a Ben Torah. There's no substitute, because there's no place else in the world where you can revisit who you were at every stage along the process of your growth. Take it with you, appreciate it, remember it, build upon it. Now, Tov you show to Hashem, to your Chaverim, to the Tzevet. Most importantly, you should take advantage of, by taking advantage of it. It's been a wonderful year spent with all of you. I think I speak on behalf of the whole staff. I definitely again speak on behalf of myself. All of our efforts, we feel have very much been worth it. Sitting here, dancing here today with you and seeing where you are. And we look forward to feeling that way in a year, and 2 and 10. And it was all worth it because we'll see where each of you are. Alei v'atzlichu. Each one of you, go your path. Later today at the ledge, you'll have a chance to speak and to write more thoughts. But let's right now celebrate to finish this stage of the day's program. And a good big thank you to Azi, to the Madrichim, to Jordan, to Eliezer, to Rav Uri, to Daniel, to Atias, who's here. Thank you. To Liron, to the Tzevet of the place, to Dudi, who's filming us, to Dr. Carl, and to everyone who I'm forgetting who played a role in making this possible.
יישאר טוב, אני אגיד לך מה... היי, כן?
Oh היום עם השם ונשאר
praise with us, and then we'll sing our anthem. everybody.
Someone else next to Moshe over here.
There's one year Yitzchak to leave. People actually going down to the ledge. We're near the ship of the ledge. We have to snacks and drinks without and Ross gives in the middle of his hair. So Rick.
All right, guys, this is good stuff. Good stuff. Just don't move. Hold on.
You don't move, Doc.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. One sec.
Doc is like half a Kirsch.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Here, this says medium. This pile says yeah.
Back to collage.
Yeah, thank you. It's got to keep your legend.
Who's this for, though? What is this?
This is what Jordan's back to like.
Show me this.
All right. Fester, what you got?
Wait.
Media.
What is it?
What?
Whatever large.
Yeah, they are large.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Medium. Jonathan, got large. Yaakov, large. Small. Give me a small.
Show me. Can you open it?
Yeah.
You did such a nice job.
I'm gonna get to my room after that, bro. Wait. Thank you, Josh. That's a small. Nicely, I'm gonna get large.
Who needed a large?
See, on video right now. Yaakov.
I know you're on video.
Okay, I'm gonna walk it.
Oh, so Leslie took one. So Leslie took a 2 extra large, right?
You're just gonna check anyway. Over there.
Let me just. Sorry.
All right, medium. You take your medium. Medium. Dan, leave his name.
These are small.
Okay, medium.
Just make sure I gave you a medium. Dan, I gave you a medium, right?
Single and small. Single small.
Kobe, what do you want? Rub it in. Small? Here's a small. Who's a small?
XL.
Kobe, I just wait.
Get an XL for Zach Fish.
Wait, what the heck? That's what you winked?
Okay, I'm taking a medium. I think. I have a medium also. XL. All right. It's fine. Yeah, you can take a pic. You can take a video.
So where is on?
Wait, what time are we going down? I'm definitely. All right, keep them in their piles.
Now it's much simpler.
I'm not gonna book like how are you? No, I'm just. We're taking. Put it on your sweatshirt.
Ready? Go.
Oh shoot! I did mine. This is why.
Go. There you go.
Why don't we spin? We pull up, point, and then spin. Okay.
Ready? Go. Spin to the left. Okay. One of you didn't do it to the left. Go. Point. Left. Nice.
First day. It was a wonderful day. This is our last time dancing through the Rova for a while. Let's do it together in a meaningful way. Shalayim. tefillah, as you learned, is not the rattling off of words. It's the relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And every time you daven in the Mesibat of Yeshivat Hakotel, you don't need to try and figure out where to face. You don't need one of those apps. And not only do you not need to figure out where to face, your full consciousness of what you're facing. That's a powerful thing. Most of you, for most of the summer, are not going to be in such close proximity. It's crucial to take that connection with you. And every time you close your eyes to daven, you close your eyes to think of what you're facing, because you're used to looking at it very often. So this, for many of you, will be the last time, we'll be down to the kotel later, the last time we have the view of what we're looking at when we daven. So let's daven mincha with that kavanah, and we'll start with that here. Ashve yoshve beitecha ojalu Most guys are still getting to know each other. It's still awkward. Some people don't feel comfortable yet speaking with each other. And I say the corny thing about how by the end of the year, you'll all be best friends. These are the people you're going to want at your wedding. And Hurt's looking at me. Then, now Celeste and Hurt, they're all buddies. In any case, Baruch Hashem, in addition to how we grow as individuals, we've all grown as part of a group. And that's what we're coming back to, the place we began. We sat there, now we're sitting here to reflect together on our year together. There are 2 days a year where I wear the year sweatshirt. The last day and the first day of next year. And I very much hope that the first day of next year, Zach, Moshe, Arya, hope you'll be here. Yeilish, Gavi, V'chule. Say that, won't be doing the army, but we will be doing the army. Only Singer won't be doing that. I hope you'll all be here with your sweatshirts. Please put them away and make sure you have them accessible. So come down here as a group on the last day and the first day. And may the first day next year be a continuation of this day. We'll sing Lamancha one more time, but the real goal of the time here is that people can talk. And please be sensitive to your friends. Every year without exception, there are people who wanted to speak who didn't get a chance. So 2 things. Please keep it short. Say what you want to say. Think carefully. 2-3 minutes. Say it. You know rabbis. Doesn't matter if you give them an hour, 40 minutes, or 10 minutes. They'll say the same thing. Just how long it takes to say it. So make believe you're a rabbi. Okay? And number 2, if you have something you want to say, don't be hesitant. You'll regret later you wish you would have said it. So say it. Don't go. We're amongst friends. We're amongst family. I want to thank the Medjuchim for everything they've done to put things together. Azy was overseeing everything. Ezra, who took care of bringing drinks and snacks down here to the ledge. There's snacks in the back by Ezra. Somebody passed by, you're hungry, you can go down there. And Ishkoch to Shlomo. Shlomo here? Shlomo Ashkenazi? Shlomo as far as I know. Anyone who wants me to sign or any other staff member, we're all here.
year I kept it pretty late, and I want to say something new. This way I don't need to struggle about that. In my family we have they call it a game, but it's not. Something called I Appreciate on Shabbos. Some people are familiar with it, at least the people who came to my house, Rafi. And I'd like to do the same thing over here. And really what it's come down for me, the biggest thing I appreciate at this point is the Chayvra. First appreciation, Shana Aleph. You've impacted my year in ways which I never thought you could. Number one, just watching you grow is amazing, and you realize, seeing you, I suppose you realize where I realized where I was beginning of Shana Aleph, and you've helped me realize that. And just, again, it's amazing just seeing you grow, just seeing your change of perspective, your change of mindset, and also just being able to develop Kasharon with you. Like, you really are, each and every one of you, amazing people. And Shana Betz, like, you guys totally made my yeshiva experience. Every single one of you, both as friends and as carrying me through when, there are ups and downs, especially during Choros Man. And every single one of you guys are just so stark and so amazing at everything you do, and you just act as an inspiration. And finally, the Rebbeim. I think the best way which are really impacted by you was, number one, obviously your amazing shiurim, but to quote Rav Tarragon from his, I think it was Yom Yerushalayim, Friday Night Tish, was you said that you worked for God. And I think you see that in every single one of the Ramim, every single one of the Rebbeim, and every single one of the staff, that they work for God and they do everything for one reason. So even when we go back to whether it's Chutz La'aretz, YU, other things in Israel, where other things take over your life, where you can't just be in yeshiva. Yes, you have chayvra around you, but not everyone has that. Not everyone has the chayvra to bring them through. Just reminding myself and reminding yourselves of the Ramim, about their pure passion about Torah, their pure passion about Avodas Hashem, to carry you through. Thank you so much for everything.
I was going to go first, but Gavi beat me to the punch, so I guess I should go second. Similar to Gavi, really just the only thing on my mind is feeling thankful and lucky. I spoke about that last year, which apparently Zach Rothberg remembers, which is pretty cool. But I just spoke about how most people on this planet do not have the opportunity that we've had over this year, the past 2 years, or 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is. There are very few people in the world who, first of all, are not in Africa and have very difficult situations with the economy and stuff like that. There are very few people who have been given the opportunity and the family that we've been given, and the opportunity to live in Eretz Yisrael for a year or two or more, and hopefully we should all come back when we can, and learn Torah on a high level in Eretz Yisrael, in the old city, overlooking what will soon be the Beit Hamikdash. And it's really just a huge split, and nobody can say it enough times for us to really appreciate how amazing that is. Also, obviously, to the Chayvra, for me specifically, the Shana Bet guys who I've been with the last 2 years and have really carried me throughout this journey, the Shana Aleph guys who I've gotten to know this year, and the older guys who I have to look to, the Rebbeim, and everything like that. So we should all feel incredibly lucky, but not just that, we should understand the opportunity that we had and have the responsibility that we have going forward. We have to wonder, why did the Kadosh Baruch Hu give us this opportunity that he gave so few people? And realize that a Kadosh Baruch Hu believes in each and every one of us to do something great, not just good, great. I think a lot of us in high school, we were all the good kids in high school, and we knew what it meant to be frum on some level. We knew what it meant to be good. We knew what it meant to keep halacha and to like Torah and to understand that it's an important thing. We didn't know what it meant to have that consume our lives. And for Avodas Hashem to be not just a thing in our life, or even the most important thing in our life, but everything in our life. Every single part of our life is about Avodas Hashem now. And I think we appreciate that. And we have to understand that because we had that opportunity, we have the responsibility to give it forward, to carry ourselves in a way that people could look at us and say, that's a ben yeshiva. That's an ideal. And we have to understand the responsibility that we have. So obviously we should be incredibly thankful for the opportunity we had and feel a deep sense of gratitude to Rav Tarragon, all the other Rabbanim, all the other staff members. And as Gavi said, really everyone here works for Hashem. And it's amazing to be in an environment, there are very few environments like this on earth, where you just see everyone working towards serving God in a better way than they did yesterday. And hoping that tomorrow they serve even better than they are right now. And it's really an incredible supposed to be with such an amazing group of people, in such an amazing place, doing such amazing things. And obviously we're all going to be going our separate ways at some point, but we should all stay in touch. Separate ways physically, but not emotionally and not spiritually, because we're all on the same team, we're all working towards the same goal, and we should continue serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu every single day better than we did yesterday.
Jonah. I'm, I guess, the first Shana Aleph to go. I'm going to give, I guess, that perspective.
Look, these from sweatshirts.
I want to focus on the chevra that we built this year. Before this year started, I really didn't know the majority of you, and it was kind of scary coming into this thing where like there's 80 people, the majority of them you don't know, and you're just living with them now, spending every second of your life with them. But now what I can say is that because of this year, I can now say that I have 80 new brothers. 80 people 50 people that I grew with, I looked to them, I saw them grow with me, used them to be able to keep them, to pace myself, to see where I need to be in relation to them. And 35 guys who I was able to look up to. When I left Musar and I went to sleep, the times that I went to Musar, when I left Musar I went to sleep and I saw guys sitting in the base, learning hard. I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to aspire to be like them. I couldn't at the time. I thought that I couldn't. I probably could have if I tried harder. And it's my goal to be like them, like the Shauna Bet guys. The guys who I watched grow from being really insanely awesome at the beginning of the year, just like more than that now. And I'm so excited to I will spend another year with all of you guys again, next year with the majority. And looking forward to more amazing things. Just wanted to shout out a group of people who haven't been mentioned yet, and that's the Madrichim. And yeah. And AZ Thou. Love you, buddy. I wanted to express my appreciation for them and how much they do for us. There was no one I hated more at certain points during the year than the Madrichim. Like if a tiyul went wrong or something went wrong, I just instantly blamed them and really, really, really disliked them. And that's totally unfair because they put in so much work for us and they do so much for us and everything they do is amazing. And I just want to apologize for hating you but not telling you, but also just hating you. And I hope you forgive me, and thank you so much for everything you guys do.
I've always loved the Madrichim. I love Jonah Tripp. Give everyone flowers.
Before Shana Aleph, the only 2 times that I've been to Israel was Yeshivat Hakotel and visiting Yeshiva the year before. This yeshiva really showed me what Eretz Yisrael is all about. It's about coming together. Even when you're told not to do something by the government, you do it anyways. When Simchas Torah, we're marching, we're dancing through the Arab corridor, we have security, but like still there are people yelling at us. It really showed me what the Jewish people are all about. And I really want to thank the programming staff, AZ, Rav Uri, everyone that's involved in any of those criteria. I want to thank them for making this the most exciting and the best year of my life yet.
Start with a joke. It's awkward to always call people out.
Can you turn, please?
This way.
The air conditioning.
It's always awkward to call people out, like individually. Remember the first day we were singing out on the steps over there? Probably on like the 80th time of the song. And I turned next to this kid sitting next to me. And I said like, wow, like really on the song for like, we're going like round 80, like, this is nuts. What are we doing out here? Like yeah, it was like kind of weird comment, but like I didn't know so many people, whatever, kind of just went for it. And this kid like turns to me and just looks at me like, what? Like just kind of confused. Like, he had the right to be confused, but I was like, wow. Like, so I came to Jack that night. I told Jack, I'm like, I cannot believe like this Shauna Bet kid, like this guy, like he's the worst guy ever. And Jack just said like, you know what, like give it a chance. It's the first day, like you made a weird comment, like you gotta give it to him. And that kid has no idea who it is, but it was Josh Appel. And I just want to say, it could have been anyone, but it happens to be that Josh himself has been like a huge mentor to me and the guy that I looked up to the entire year and like a role model and report cheer. So I just want to say how right Jack was, and thank you, Josh, for everything you've done this year for our shir, and sorry for the comment, but yeah.
It's hard to say. There's not so much time to say everything I want to say to you guys. Probably should raise my voice right now. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So I want to first off say that I'm sorry for not being wearing a white shirt and like dark pants, because my shirt is probably wetter than the towel I used to shower 5 minutes ago. But what I wanted to say first and foremost is thank you to every single staff member here. That really made my year that much more meaningful. I couldn't have done anything without you guys, probably not. I also want to thank the Chevra, the group of dudes here that really inspired me to pound away those that made Siyum, those that were just there for a quick meme, or like whatever it was. Everyone talks about that there's a cast of characters in Hakotel. There really is. I mean, you look at TJ Oshie, you look at Selesny, Strick, you got, sorry if I'm not naming everybody, but you got a lot of cast characters. And what's important about that is that when I came here first, for like a week or something, everyone like seemed very serious, and I was like, okay, you want to play the serious game? I'll play the serious game. It only lasted for a week. After that, I was like chilling in my room like 3 hours a day. I couldn't take it anymore. But then I started making friends with Besner. Me and Besner used to like lie down in my room for like 2 hours straight doing nothing, bumming around. And thank God we've come a long way. I started learning a bit, shtickle, and chilling with the boys, of course. I want to thank every single one of you for the amazing year you gave me. Probably forgetting to say some stuff, but really it breaks my heart to part all of you guys. But I'm sure I'll be here next year, and if I won't, I'll be here. I will be here next year. And I'll be here January the year after, if not Shana Gimel. Thank you everyone for all your efforts.
Here's the vibes.
For the wives, for the wives.
Tea time with Summit.
Oh yeah. For sure, our esteemed guest. I said something before I said something before to the Shana Bet guys at our final VOD, and I told Josh Hurt this 1,000 times, and it's like a little bit of a cliche of mine, but I think that it's very important. I was once struggling with a morning Seder focusing. You know what I'm saying. So I was walking around to like Shosh's office, and like I bumped into Rav Tarragon, and Rav Tarragon's like, "How are the Jews?" And I was like, "They're great." And then he's like, "Okay." And then I'm like, "Rebbe, do you have any advice for morning Seder?" And Rebbe's like, "Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids." So it happened. And then I was like, let's forget about it. And then later that day at lunch, Rav Tarragon saw me walking like embarrassingly away, and he grabbed me and said, "Rav Elon, Loey's looking for skulas for morning Seder." and then they laughed it off and whatever. I wanted, sometimes people hide it because everyone tries to make it look easy, and guys are really good at it. But we all need to acknowledge how much of an avoda it is, succeeding in yeshiva any amount. And everyone here grew to some extent and put in some avoda, and everyone here knows that the work pays off. And if it's going hard and it's not going easy, just know that that's totally normal, and it's an avoda. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be difficult, and I hope we could keep that with us over the summer and for the rest of our lives. Shkana.
First, thank you to all the Rebbeim, all the staff, everyone who's been here and made this year incredible year that it was. I was talking to Adobe during our shmooze, and he asked me what the best part of yeshiva was, and without hesitation, I said the Chevra. And it really is. The Shana Aleph guys who, I didn't know a lot of you coming in to where we sit now, friends with all of you, most of the Shana Bet guys. But there was a story I told Adobe, and we were a lot, and just really shows how close our Chevra is. We were in a lot, and Jory Dayan always wore that gold ring on his finger. And it was the night we had the barbecue, and we were sitting all on the beach, and he was like skipping a rock. So he goes in to pick up a rock, and the ring slides right off his finger. And it's dark, and there's a bunch of pebbles, and it blends in perfectly. So that was kind of sad as it happened, but his grandfather had given it to him. But the amazing part was that within a second of it, 5 guys already took their shoes off, jumped in the water, flashlights, and we're looking for it for about 15 minutes. It was a small ring, but it just shows how much care and how much love we have for each other. So, thank you all.
Where's No Buenos? Okay, so first of all, before I say anything, I look up to Noam in so many ways. He knows it, but I don't have to say that. But I just had this about 2 weeks ago, Noam can attest to this. We were just learning morning Seder. All of a sudden, I just like slammed my head on the table. I'm like, I can't do this. Like I like mentally just broke down. I'm like, I don't know. It's the end of the year. It's the end of yeshiva. Like, what did I do? What have I been doing with the last year? And immediately, you know, he had my back, and I had like 20 guys around my makom just like talking to me, like just struggling. Like I can rattle a few: Zach Rothenberg, Andrew Haberman, Elazar. Everybody kind of just ran over to me and just started talking to me. And what they kept on reiterating was like, you know, this has been a long period of time. It's been an amazing period of time. But sometimes we get caught up with trying to, you know, snatch onto each individual day and say, you know, did I do everything that I could do today? And I think one of the dangers in that, while that is an important mindset to have, is to be able to take a day like this, which is a recap of all of those days, and to say, wow, look at what I've done, and then look around at everybody else and said, besides for look at what I've done, look at what we've done. So I just want to say thank you to the Chevra, the Rebbeim, the staff, everybody for just really being mechazik my learning and mechazik my growth and everything that I think we've all accomplished together in this year in the yeshiva.
The second greatest gift that God gave to me was my life, whereas the first was the ability to make it meaningful. And that's how I feel now. Obviously God's given me everything, but I feel like Yeshivat Hakotel has really given me the ability to make my life meaningful. And I think, like, how pathetic would our lives be if we kind of just continued on the path we were going in high school with our half commitment to Torah, half in the other world, and just like not here, not there, not with a broader mission, not looking to change the world, not looking to change ourselves, and just doing what we want to do. And I think Hakotel, I'm just so grateful because it gave me something more than that. It gave me a meaningful life. It gave me a way to raise myself up and to connect to God in ways that I probably would never be able to do before. I think in the last day, the question that we all have to think to ourselves is, what are we going to do going on forward to make sure that we don't retreat back to where we were in high school? Because we have this crazy moment and we have this crazy gift, and how sad would it be if we gave up the most valuable thing that we could possibly have, a meaningful, beautiful life where we serve God and we raise ourselves up to levels we could never imagine. And it would be just a shame if we lost that. So hopefully we could all think about how we're going to make sure we're going to keep this gift that Yeshivat Hakotel has so gracefully given us.
Learning Parshas Ba'aloscha. We got to like why, and Rashi said, so like what's going on with the smichos of the Siyum to Ba'aloscha, like lighting the menorah, what's going on? And my 7th grade teacher said that the smichos is like juxtaposition, and I told him I didn't think that was a word, and then I thought Art Scroll made it up too, but apparently the juxtaposition is a word, in case anybody was wondering. It took me till like 12th grade to figure that out, but now I know. So why is the parsha? Why is the parsha in the Siyum close to Ba'aloscha and the menorah? So Rashi says that Aaron saw that the Nessim brought all these karbonos, and he is cholish daito. He was upset that he couldn't bring a carbon. So Hashem says to Aaron, Chayecha shelcha gedol mishalchem. Like literally means by your life, but like are you crazy? Your part is bigger than theirs, because you're gonna light the menorah. And the Ramban takes it further, and it's like, why specifically the menorah? Like, there could be anything else, that all the different avodas. And he said that it's not just the menorah in the base of Mikdash, but it's the menorah forever. And so this idea that Aaron, he steps on and he lights fire. And I don't think it's an accident that it used the word Baaloscha. And the Naso and Baaloscha are both a form of rising up. But Naso is like you're carrying something. It's like a physical burden that you lift up people with you and you like drag them up. So that's like one level. But then you get to this Baaloscha, which is just going up. There's no effort, and that's what fire is. There's a special halakha that you have to step up when you light the menorah, and to be someone who's Baaloscha, who raises up without anything, you just see. And the Gemara in Shabbos says that everyone look towards the menorah. That was proof that the Ananei Kavod was with the Jews. So you see this fire, and it's just everything, and it's just effortless, and everything sees. That's what you see Hashem. And so I think I look around every day in the Beis Medrash, and I see everyone who was Baaloscha this year. They rose up, they worked hard, and that's like the inspiring thing. That's the great thing about fire. You just pass by with fire, and it catches on to everything else. You don't even have to do anything. You just pass it by, and fire, you don't lose anything, but it gives everything. You don't lose fire when you light another fire. And so I want to thank every single one of you for inspiring me with your fire. You walk in the Beis Medrash and you see there's just a fire there. And so I want to thank every single one of you for inspiring me. I see you step up and it inspires me. And I bracha to everyone that you should keep inspiring everyone else like you inspire me to work hard every single day.
I echo a lot what everyone has said, but I'm just going to speak about one thing, and that's about the Rebbeim. So the Gemara says, I'm not sure where, but I hear Rav Shechter quote a lot, that the Gemara says that if your Rebbe is Dome le Malach Hashem Tzivako, so then learn from him. And if not, so then you don't. So he asks, and everyone asks, like, what does that mean, a Malach? Like Rebbeim are Malachim? Like, they're not Malachim. So what does that mean? So just like a Malach, he says that just like a Malach has one mission and he has one goal, and the goal is to serve Hashem, so too Rebbeim, when they have their one thing on their mind, that's to try to make the best out of their Talmud, out of their Talmidim. So then learn from him. And so I think all the Rebbeim here, that's what they are. They every single day, they just keep pushing us into understanding our potential. So I thank them.
A lot of guys talking about Hebra. Just want to go a little bit more into that. Coming from Chicago, I actually knew not a single person coming from anywhere besides Chicago. Like, not even one person. I never went on Kollel, never went to any New York camps, East Coast, whatever. And you hear all these rumors that these New Yorkers are these big bad monsters that are going to eat your soul when you get to yeshiva. And I'm happy to say it's not true here. Except Doobie is really scary. Just kidding. The Chevra here is really something special. It's something that can really impact someone's whole year, impact someone's whole life. And I'm really happy to say I think I made some great friends and continue to develop these relationships. And thank you guys. Thank you. I
was thinking a little bit about the last two Masechtas we've done, Makos and Gittin, and it's kind of interesting that the main topic expressed in each Masechta is not something like necessarily very joyful. Like, we don't think of divorce and lashes as something like positive or fun in any means. But I think there's definitely a deeper level to both of these ideas. Gittin being the safer krisos, this separation between an individual and the unfit and toxic relationship that he's in, and Makos being, as we see towards the end of the third parak, talks about how we use animal hide to hit you, and it's kind of this realigning of your identity, seeing that you're not just this creature that roams the world with nothing above you, no evus ba'alav. And I think in a real meaningful way, yeshiva has been, at least for me, like a Gittin and Makos. And I mean, if I think about it, the world, like, we come from the distorted mindset and perspective and worldview that all of us are kind of like dominated by. Yeshiva just kind of separates us from it, tears us apart from that. It's like almost a safer creases from that mentality. And this world gives us this kind of clouded identity, this not so defined, this identity with kind of no purpose, no obligations, no responsibility. And Yeshiva completely hits that away from us, completely takes it away from us. Twisted worldview and really give us this meaningful and real identity that we can
Continuing Moshe's Spalos Torah theme. I saw a question raised. 22 ballots. 7 of them had the word Zakina on them. The other 2 were blank. This little extra, it's a little tedious. Why not just have it be 10 and blank? Print 2 of them like no, something like that. Pick one spot, right? So 2 different approaches. I think they're both very important for reflecting on our year as a whole. Number 1, set a goal.
And I wasn't so sober in our Shana Aleph group chat. But I apologize if I didn't put myself out there and I regret it. But thank God the last few months of year have been amazing. And I'm looking forward to it. And one more thing, Shana Bet, you guys are great. Trivia, my sister and parents here. He helps me out. Eric, you're my kind of roommate, you won't admit it, and my hot buddy, meaning I talk with you and you don't talk back, but it's great, so thank you all. Another band, and the chaverim that I made the past 2 years. I think as I leave, I wanted to give some eitzah to the Shana Bet guys for next year. You can think as it is, maybe we're good Shana Bet, bad Shana Bet, but either way, I think you can learn from what we did and just think about where you were in the beginning of Shana Aleph. I know my first Friday, I went out to lunch in Mamilla, and I didn't know how to get back to the old city. And I was like freaking out, asking this person. They said, yeah, just don't turn left because you're going to Arab Quarter and that'll be really bad. So I didn't know what I was doing. Thank God, that guy and helped me away. It's like, you really can help these guys so much and really change their years and really just change their lives. Like, there's really so much you can do for these guys. And I think just a special thank you to all the Shana Bet guys here. I think we've really become such a strong chevra. I know Rav Kagan said this multiple times, but like, really, these guys are going to be your best friends and the guys that are at your wedding. And I'm so excited for that. And really just take advantage of the next year. And yeah, I think for me, everyone told like, take advantage of Old City, take advantage of being Old City. I always struggled doing that. I didn't know how would I supposed to take advantage. So I think as I'm leaving, I think one way to do it is just, when I think back to this is my home. Like when I think back to the Old City, when I think back to Shalayim, like the fact that I think back and it's always comfortable here, it's just such an amazing thing. So we just take advantage of being here, being this as your home, and hopefully we're all back here soon.
On Thursday night, Efroni mentioned that there are 3 things that you need to be successful in life. You need Rebbeim, you need friends, and you need Talmidim. And I'd like to thank 2 out of 3 of those because I don't know who my Talmidim are yet. So firstly, thank you to the Rebbeim. You know, I was a bit of a hashkafic mess coming in here. I didn't really know what was coming, what was going. So I'd like to thank everyone here, all the Rebbeim, for showing me a derech and really like giving me like a role model to show that what do I want to become and how can I become it. And secondly, I want to thank all my friends who are sitting here for helping me think that was possible. Every time I was struggling, every time you were sitting in the base, past night Seder, during the breaks, all the time, when you thought you were just doing your own thing, and you were helping me get through tough days, and I would never have been able to grow as much as I think I did this year without any of you. So thank you.
In the middle, so I don't do with my hands. So I came into Yeshiva like really confident, thinking I know everything, thinking I'm at the top. I'm like, I was like the big fish in like a small place from Color Post, and that's the way I came in. I'm like, okay. And then I got here, and then I'm like, whoa, everybody else is another big fish. So then I'm like nothing, and I don't really. Then I started learning. I'm like, I don't know how to learn. I thought I going Gemara, and then I'm like, I can't even do that. I'm like, okay. So that was really good for me. But then it's good to put me down so I can go back up. And I was going through a whole like mess, and like I don't even know who I am. Like, what, do I know anything? And then one of the most, obviously the chevra is super important. I mean, like Shana Aleph, I appreciate every single person here, and I've probably talked with every single person here. I've probably annoyed every single person here multiple times, either physically or mentally. But Shana Bet also, like, I've probably actually talked also physically, mentally, all that stuff. And also probably, like, actually DMC'd with a lot of you guys, and it really is important for me. But most important, I think, chavrutot. And I learned that from both having great chavrutot and also just having lack of chavrutot sometimes. But so like throughout the whole year, I had many chavrutot. I started with Isaac, and that was super important. And then I was lacking chavrutot for months. Then I got David Somach in the morning. That literally changed my year being with David Somach. I don't know where he is. David Somach. Okay, so David Somach literally changed my year because I was going through a bit of trouble, and he really helped me get to a certain level I wanted to be at and succeed. And it came tonight, say the chavrutot also. I'm going to mention my chavrutot. So at the beginning of the year, I had Avi Somach, which is literally the most important thing. For the whole month, Eluzman, we did not touch a Gemara. We literally just did the parsha with Onklus. His idea was to learn Aramaic so you could learn Gemara. Craziest thing. Avi Somach is like it's from like gift from Shemayim. Then and the next gift from Shemayim, you probably all know, Ian Schwartz. Ian Schwartz, my Rebbe. Ian Schwartz, I have words to talk about Ian Schwartz. Ian Schwartz has changed my life on so many ways. He literally, like, when it comes to learning, we learned like crazy, like crazy. We also hawked like crazy, but not at the same time. We made sure to hawk afterwards. And learning, when it was time to learn, we were learning. Without the hawk, we seriously hawked. With every single part of my life that I needed help with, he was there. He was there for everything. He cared about me. I care about him. Me and Ian, I don't know how to explain it. It's literally just, I don't know. Ian Schwartz. Then Morty Blau, my most sincere chavruta. He's the only chavruta I've had from day one to now, by the way. He stuck with me. Look at him. Great guy. Morty's literally the most incredible person. And it was one. I came in, I started saying, like, I hate this person, I hate that person, I hate all New Yorkers. I literally said that. Morty, okay, so why nobody laughed? It's a joke. Wait a second. And then Morty was there, and Morty's like, "You're an idiot. You look at yourself first." And he always reminded me that look at yourself first. And he made me like these lists and all these things. And then I always come back the next day. I'm like, "Thank you so much, Morty. You literally corrected me on everything." I always have to like admit. It was tough. Morty was a really good person to have for Musar Seder. He really got me there. And then Daniel Selesny, for afternoon Seder Chavruta, not the whole year, but for most of the year. We weren't even friends when we started. We were just like, yo, you want to learn together? And then we're like, we both want to learn with each other. We both have to break up with them. That long story. Anyways, since then we've been learning. Some days, I started with Git, and we literally the first few days we could only do like one line of Gemara. And we're like, wow, that was a good day. But then it became, like 2 months later, like we did like 3 lines, like wow, that was a bad day. And it was just like, the better we got and the worse ever. We did a lot of hawk we shouldn't have, but eventually started picking up towards the end. And we started getting like an hour a day, sometimes even a dove somehow. It was crazy stuff. And Daniel Selesny is probably the best part of the Chevra and the Yeshiva. You guys all know Daniel Selesny is like the backbone of this Chevra and Yeshiva. I just appreciate him so much for being there for me as a chavruta and as a friend. And and also the most important part are the Rebbeim, obviously. Rav Cutler, I was in his shirt for the longest out of anybody. Not to be like whatever, I was there from the beginning, day one until February 11th. I remember that, I don't know why. But I was there for a long time. And like, I kind of spoke about it a bit, but like, I didn't really know how to learn, and it was really difficult. And he was telling me, oh, you should change, like, sure, you shouldn't be like trying to help others. I'm like, no, I really want to stick through it. It was important. Every step of the way, I think I really made progress. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I did. I came with the Yeshivat, not having to be Tosfos whatsoever. I came out like reading Tosfos, and I loved it. I stuck it out. Then once they started, things were clicking. I've never thought of anything like that in my life before. Like my mind was literally like going crazy. Like whoa, it was like whoa, here, there, like going crazy, like everything. Like, I wanted to start off by saying that I think most people know, or at least a lot of Shana Aleph know, I definitely did not have the easiest transition, and the transition lasted, I guess, much farther than normal transitions. But I think that at this point, I can look back, and even though I had a tough transition or year, whatever you want to put it as, I had a lot of help
to get through that tough time, and like to be at the point where I am now is something I could not have imagined. And like there were so many times where, like I thought I would be in America at this point. So I'm thankful to be standing here. I wanted to give two specific thank yous. One is to all the rabbis, and specifically to Rav Cutler and Rav Horn. To Rav Cutler, who when my mom came in November, and like the day like she left, I just felt like so like I something I didn't realize about the connection that I had with Rav Cutler until that day, which is that it was just such like a warm like welcome, until like you could always come to me, you could come home to my house, you could always talk to me and always be honest to me, and something that like I didn't get till that day, but like that just helped me to feel that comfort. So thank you. And to Rav Horn, to just like the sheer and to the everyday, but also like to a certain extent when like someone constantly tells you that like they believe in you over and over and over, like even if like you believe in nothing in yourself, like at that point like you just have to believe in yourself because someone believes in you so much. So I really appreciate that. And to like everyone, to really everyone, the amount of people that I've been speaking to, and to be able to get advice from so many people is something that's like unparalleled, and like I've never had a group of people like this, and like to not just like talk and like get like advice, but to have like really deep conversations. And like it's hard to have a conversation with someone when it's like that person saying things that like you don't necessarily know the answers to, but for everyone to just listen to me and to be able to like offer the best advice that they can, and it got me to the point today. So thank you everyone.
Everyone, I think that I struggle to sometimes. I don't think I've established a relationship with everyone, but I have learned something from everyone, because you can learn something through observation, not necessarily through just through long chats. And I think that observing everyone, there's always been everyone. You look at them and I think, I think they're just gonna go upstairs, or they're gonna do something, and then they do something different, and that surprises me. It shocks me, and it's something that I think it's to learn from. And what I'm gonna then my individual thank yous were indispensable people that I look at the year and I think it would have just been so different. So Rob Dovey, you were the push. Mayor Jacobs, my night Seder conference, said that was the drive. Every night was productive, building. And Rob Taugen for the ultimate vision, the Tishes, they were just so inspirational. Thank you.
So I just want to give it like a quick brief thing. When I first got to yeshiva, it was really strange. I don't know how I got there. Like from where I was in the academy, learning like maybe 20 minutes a day, like 20 minutes of like hard learning, to like all of a sudden being in yeshiva. I was like really like shocked, and not just like in yeshiva, but like right by the Kotel. I remember being by the Kotel, and next morning going to Rav Mezer. I said, if I'm so grateful to Akash Baruch, my parents, for getting to me where I am today, my Rebbeim, my singer for sure. How am I I'm just finding myself in a trap of thanking Hashem. Because the more I thank Hashem, the more I find myself wanting to thank Him for more and more, because the more I realize I have from Him. And I kind of feel the same way right now. Like to give gratitude to all you guys is just impossible. Like I remember speaking with the Ramin, like closing up this man. Like if it wasn't for the Chevra, I probably would be the same kid that was leaving Him Academy. Each and every one of you, mamish, like each and every one of you helped me get to where I am today. And I really appreciate it, Rav especially, Rav Cutler, Rav Horn, Rav Tag, and all of you who helped me, like build a building, have a chapshus, like they gave me a strong foundation. I was able to build a strong building with no crooked foundation, but a strong building, one floor at a time, and helped me to be the mentor I am today. And I really, I could stand here for 20 minutes and just say thank you. That's what kind of I do in my meetings sometimes. I just really get stuck, because it's impossible to thank everybody for everything they do for me. Unless I do it every day, the moment they do it for me, and sometimes I forget. I'm a forgetful person. But Sikum, just really thank you for everybody for having me, make me who I am today. And just thank you, I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Out Shabbos, the first month of yeshiva, that was pretty negative. With an interesting couple, and they were saying all these things during the Shabbos meal. It was like the antithesis of what yeshiva is all about, mocking yeshivas, mocking my hashkafa, and it was very a destructive meal, and I felt very disgusting leaving that Shabbos. And then I walked into yeshiva that Motzei Shabbos, and I felt this welcoming sense. I mean, I walked into the base, saw my Shana Bet Chavra, saw the Shana Aleph guys, and it was a really disgusting Shabbos, and I didn't feel so great leaving it, but I felt so at home walking back into yeshiva and seeing all my friends. And I think that's a great aspect of yeshiva that I felt these past 2 years, that it's really a home away from home, or actually you might even call it the home, because it's really been that for me for the last 2 years. That's something that I'm really appreciative of.
Shush. You. Right. That's. Right. So last year, for those who remember, I spoke about a different yeshiva. That was the Sur Meirah. And now it's time to speak about the Asay Tov, this yeshiva. So there's so many different aspects of this yeshiva that I could choose to focus on, so many different parts of the experience, the messages that are sent. But I think that there is a reason why Rabbi Tarragon describes Baruch Hu Elokeinu Chevron L'Chvodo V'Evtilonim Ma'atom V'Nosanu, the song. There's a reason Rabbi Tarragon describes that as anthemic for us. Because, yes, V'Evtilonu, we are separated, but then V'chai Olam Nota V'Socheinu. There is Chai Olam planted in our midst, it's planted there, and Eitz Chaim Ilamachazikim Bo. It's only an eighth of you to seize onto it. It's like the Keser Torah is Munoch, it's resting there. Kol HaRot says, Yova V'Yitol, you can come and take it, but it's on you to take it. And Hakotel, the yeshiva does an amazing job of not only equipping us with the tools to do this, to be able to take the Keser Torah for ourselves, but of inculcating within us the understanding and the significance of why exactly we need to do this and why this is something that makes our lives significant.
We're sort of like big brothers when you're in yeshiva. They always have to give you advice, pump you up when you're down, help you through tough situations. So whoever didn't take advantage of them, come back to bet you should. If not, they have WhatsApp. I think so. Except for Sammy now. But the rest of them do. The other person I want to thank is Rav Cutler for pushing, specifically for one thing, for last year's Tide Talk pushing me to go to an Israeli shir. Because it sort of opened my eyes to another perspective on what everything is, learning with Daf Shar. He gave me a different perspective of what it is to be like more a nivus and get like a more cook side perspective than the Rav side perspective. So thank you for that.
Reform texted me like you should speak, and I was like, all right, like Reform, like I don't need to. But then Shlomo looked at me, he's like, you should speak. I was like, all right, I got it. Over at the NC Call training, they said like the greatest hashkol you can have on kids is not by giving them advice or learning with them like that. It's really just acting the way you would to see guys at 2 a.m. in the base or whatever on any random night, being able to learn. That was incredible. The second point I want to make is just to the Shana Aleph. I said it at Purim last time. I fully cried. I'm going to own up to that. Coming in, I didn't have anyone from MTA, which was tough. But the Shana Aleph and all the Rebbeim and even the Shana Bet really embraced me, and I appreciate everyone for that. So thank you.
I first want to start off with an apology to many of you of whom I did not get to forge a relationship past just saying hello and passing. I happen to be more reticent by nature, which has its ups and downs. Unfortunately, this was a down, so I'm sorry. Second, I want to also thank all of you for all being here, because I think you created an amazing, eclectic environment, very, very different, extremely unparalleled to any other place I got to meet so many people, none of you whom are the same, and it was truly a phenomenal experience being here with you. Thirdly, I want to thank my chavrusa, known as Eric or Air Bear or Rick, Moshe Ephraim, who is both an amazing chavrusa, great mentor, and pal. He did seem like a big brother this year as well, and it really helped me a lot. And lastly, but extremely, extremely important, I want to thank all the Rebbeim. I had the privilege of being in Rav Cutler, Rav Horn, and Rav Harrigan's Shears, and they were truly phenomenal. Each of them extremely personal, coming up to me after Shear, and wanting to schmooze and talk. And also, Rav Dovi, of course, thank you for being here. It's always nice. And again, thank you to all of you. It was a tremendous year.
Speaking right now, but my thought process was that there was one person who was not noticed, that I didn't realize he was noticed, and I thought that it wouldn't be right if he went without being noticed. Rav Heller, thank you so much for everything that you've done, not only for me, but the entire year over the course of the year. We're all from early in the morning till late at night. We can always text you and you respond like that, which is very impressive, dude. Like flip phone. It's, so on behalf of the entire share, I just wanted to thank you.
In the hopes that both Shlomo and Lustman hear me speaking and also are inspired to speak, I think that anyone who has eyes recognized at some point over the period of this year that being a madrich and dealing with logistics is not the most pasha thing to do, and it causes a lot of stress, and sometimes a lot more stress than is necessary. But I just want you guys to know, and I think I speak on behalf of all the madrichim when I say this, is that when we see whatever event that we helped piece together with the Rebbeim, and we see it coming to fruition, and we see the logistics that we were able to help bring together in order to make it more worth it for you guys, and we see you guys enjoying having a good time, growing and learning, it makes our job all the more enjoyable, and it really, really gives us a good feeling. And you guys should continue to raise yourselves up and to be matzliach.
Something very, very short. I didn't really think of saying anything because I don't really.
We can't hear you.
These type of events, I don't really like these types of events just because I don't think there's a reason to separate from one another. We're all together for the rest of whatever. As I'm still in touch with guys from Shana Aleph, Shana Bet, Shana Gimel, and I will be from Shir Dalet. Just something very small. I think that coming into Yeshiva, I had zero idea what Yeshiva was about, and when I saw you guys come into Yeshiva, I kind of saw sort of the same thing, not in a negative way, just in a pure way. You know, this whole concept that, as Rav Tarragon said, you guys started as Shenishba, and you no longer are, is a great weight on your shoulders, but it's also an important thing to realize that not only are you no longer Shenishba, you guys have the ability, and I'd even say the chiyuv to ensure that others also jump out of that spot. I think it was Yoel Leighton who said, you know your friends and you know your Rebbeim, but you didn't know who your Talmidim were. Look right, look left. Everybody's your Talmud. Everybody's your...
Back intramural ships. But I don't know, like it's very nice to look around, see all the guys like I can relate to, like Zev, Jack, and Andrew, like even though he's kind of not so normal anymore, but like these are guys that I can relate to, and like they show me that, you know, like there is a chance I can become more passionate and I can grow in like my Avos Torah and Avos Hashem as a whole. So it's very nice to have that in the Beis Medrash, and hopefully I can work on that. And secondly, I just want to say thank you to Rav Lior. He's had a very big impact on my year, to say the least, for showing up to his daily chaburos once a week and eating all my snack. But it goes beyond that, and he's really shown me inside and outside the Gemara the way to behave, and thank you.
not been mentioned yet, Rav Lior has officially been the Shanavet's Chover, as he told us at the very first bad in his house. And he's very much been my Chover, I think, on the top of all Shanavet, so we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all the time and all of us.
Hi, I'm Elijah. Hey, Elijah. I'm from Detroit. And when I interviewed for Hakotel, I did awful. Rob Cutler told me soon after I just shouldn't have gotten in. Like, not a chance. But for some reason, I don't know what he saw, but he decided to give me a shot. And every single day I'm super thankful for that because I got to be put in the best environment, both with people, Rebbeim, Kotel, all of it. And every single day I get to look around, I get to see each kid, and the next one is better than the last one. And then I look back at the last one, he somehow is better than this one. Every single time you guys keep one-upping each other, and it's just incredible to see because you guys are all, I don't know, you guys are like, I'm coming from a community of like 10 people, and to see 20 people in a room is impressive. See a real minion. I'm like, wow, okay. And then to see like people in that minion davening, and then learning after, and then learning after, and then learning after. It's inspiring. So I'm really happy to be around with all you guys, and I'm excited to do Shana Bet. Hopefully more. I'll see you around.
Kiva
Shamayim v'areh.
Ezri meim Adonai, aseh shamayim.
Al yitein lamod raglecho, al yanum shamerecho.
Al yitein lamod raglecho, al yanum shamerecho.
Lo yishan, shomer Yisrael.
Lo yanum v'lo yishan, shomer Yisrael.
Adonai shomerecho, Adonai tzilicho, al yad yeminecho. ישמור צאתך ובואך מעתה ביד עולם. ישמור צאתך ובואך מעתה ביד עולם. ממוריה, אדוני בימו. ממוריה, אדוני בימו. למען תברך. יפעש לך למען תברך. שומרים לבוקר. Jews, we always plan to be in Yerushalayim next year. As Jews, the reason we're here in Yerushalayim now is because our ancestors planned on being in Yerushalayim every year next year. And let's all celebrate the hope, the prayer, that in Yirut Hashem we will all be in Yerushalayim next year. Lishana Haba, Lishana Haba, Lishana Haba, Yerushalayim. Lishana Haba, Lishana Haba, Lishana Haba, Yerushalayim. Lishana Haba, Yerushalayim, Hallelujah. Lishana Haba, Yerushalayim, Hallelujah. Lishana Haba, Lishana Haba, Lishana Haba, Yerushalayim. Lishana Haba, Lishana Haba, Lishana What? It takes me a minute to get it set up. Do you want to go on a little more of an angle like
Thank you.